Okay, so this is called Matras Souk, which is called the bazaar or a street market. This is one of the oldest in the entire Arab world, where you can find a lot of antiques, jewelry, spices and frankincense, a lot of different things. Hi guys, this is Simran. Today I'm going to teach you how to make hummus, which is one of my favorite traditional Middle Eastern appetizers. And I'm going to show you three different versions of that. A classical one, a basil and a sundried tomato one. And let's get started with the classical one. Today I'm using the tin chickpeas, which is a quickest and the easiest version of making the hummus. But traditionally what I do is I soak my chickpeas overnight, and then with a pinch of salt I boil them, and that's how I classically make my hummus. But this is one of the quickest and the easiest version of making, and a lot of people who doesn't want to go into the trouble of making their own, so this is a cheat version of that. Let's get started. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some tahina paste in that. It's about 1 can I used for the chickpeas, and I'm going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of tahina, and in that I'm going to add a couple of garlic. You can take garlic paste if you don't have the fresh, but I always prefer to have my fresh ones. And then I just add some black pepper in that. Now I'm going to add some salt, not too much, and I'm going to add some lemon. You can make your own variations with making your hummus. Like a lot of people, they're buying the store-bought ones. I don't prefer that, so I prefer to use my own. Now I like to add some olive oil. Not too much, just a tablespoon of that. Grind it all together. Now I'm going to take my board and I like to serve my hummus little texture, but if you like to make it a bit more smooth, you can turn it a couple of more times and then it becomes more smoother. Now this is the classical version, and we use a lot of hummus at home. I like to spread it on my bread, on my sandwiches, and even in the wraps, and I like to serve it with the appetizers. You can serve it with the classical Arabic bread. Now I'm going to make the swirl just to present my hummus. Just put some fresh parsley. I'm going to chop it. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Sprinkle some of this parsley. And I like to present it with some zeresh and some sumac. I like to serve it with some chips which I baked sometimes earlier. And I would like to add some tomatoes on the side. Oops, one fell down already. With the pepper, just for a little presentation. And it's ready. Now let's get started with the second version of making the hummus. With the same quantity of chickpeas, I'm going to add some paprika, because I like to add some heat to my hummus. So I'll just add about a teaspoon of that, and cloves of garlic, Garlic is actually very good for digestion, and actually chickpeas has the tendency of producing some colickiness. So if you add some garlic, that actually helps to reduce your flatulence. Another 2 to 3 spoons of tahina, some lemon juice, just about a couple of teaspoons of lemon juice. This is a sun-dried tomato one, so I'm going to add 3 or 4 sun-dried tomatoes, and sun-dried tomatoes already have some tartness, so that's why I'm not using too much of lemon in that. So in this one I like to add some thyme. The fresh thyme goes really well with the tomatoes, so a few sprigs of that, and some olive oil, just a tablespoon, a pinch of salt, and give it a quick blend. Now I'm going to do the presentation for my sun-dried tomato hummus. Now give it a little swirl, and I like to present it with the ingredients which I add to my hummus. So this is what I'm going to do: some thyme, some sun-dried tomatoes to go along with that, just to show like this is what is inside, and I like to add some olive oil, just a bit of it, and a few more chickpeas. That's it. This is my sun-dried tomato hummus, which I would like to present it with this bread. You can actually traditionally serve it with the Arabic hummus, but this is the bread which I made yesterday, so I'm going to serve it with that. This is a palak paneer bread, and I'm just going to post the video for this one very soon. Now let me present my hummus. Just put it over here, and that's the bread. You can just be rustic about it. I'm going to serve some chips. Now that's my sun-dried tomato hummus, and I'm going to try one. I'm really hungry. Yum. Now let's make our last hummus for the day. Chickpeas, I always like to add some of the brine water which they are preserved in, because that gives the moisture to the hummus. But if you don't want to add that brine water, you can always add the extra water, or you can always add some boiled chickpea water if you're using your own fresh chickpeas. I'm adding some tahina, adding 2 cloves of garlic, some pine nuts just for the nuttiness, extra flavor. Now I'm going to add some fresh basil, which is the different take on my classical version of the hummus, and some olive oil. I like to use the extra virgin olive oil because it gives the richness to the dish. A bit of salt, and some pepper. So add some lemon, I'm using my hands just so that none of the pips are going inside my hummus. Now we will blend it all together. Yeah, and now it's done. Now let me put it in the bowl. Oh, look at this beautiful green color. Whenever I'm presenting this to my friends, they're always asking me, how did you make this? And this is my little secret which I'm sharing it with you all. Now I'm going to swirl it a little bit. Just a little sweet little sprigs of fresh basil which I picked up from my garden. And I like to always use extra virgin olive oil. And just a hint of pine nuts. You can always add a few more chickpeas. Now this one I would like to present it with some fresh veggies. You can always use cucumbers, some sweet peppers, and you can also cut some carrots. These are some of the healthy snacks which you can serve, and also you can serve it in your lunch boxes. Also kids will love it. I like to give it to my children when they're going for school. And here you go, that's my basil hummus. Now these are my 3 different variations of the hummus which I made today. The classic, the sun-dried tomato, and the basil. Okay, now let me try the one which I made with the sun-dried tomato. Just yummy. If you like this video as much as I love making these recipes, give it a thumbs up, share it with all your family and friends, subscribe to my channel, keep watching, keep cooking. Bye bye. So guys, this is treat. This is matcha soak, which is called, no, what am I doing? Okay, 1 second. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to all your family and friends.